Good morning, Dhyana. We can start.
Hello, friends. It's a joy to greet you from Ananda Village. Let's start with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great gurus, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Guru Deva, Paramhansa Yoganandaji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. O great ones, fill us with thy joy and love as we open our hearts to thy blessings, to thy grace at this special time. We bow at thy feet again and again. Bless us now and always. Om Shanti Shanti. The topic today is how to attune to Swamiji, Swami Kriyanandaji. And we'll start with a song, a beautiful song that Swamiji wrote. And also then an brief excerpt from a talk that Swamiji gave around this topic. Welcome again, friends.
Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire, only you remain and life again. Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire, only you remain and life again. Too long I did stray, flung lifetimes away, imagined you did not care. I know now your smile was mine all the while. I listened and love was there. I can't breathe for love, all the stars above call to me, come home. Life's waves all end in foam, only love can heal all the pain I feel. What a fool was I to turn away.
Somehow, with the right attitude, everything's come out all right. And as I look at all these communities and all these hundreds and hundreds of people and thousands of people following I think, well, at any rate, I can feel good about it. And I do. I am so grateful that so many of you have come. I believe that when we die, and we have to leave all those whom we loved behind, and we'll never be in this body again, and we'll never be able to enjoy this life again as we've known it, and do all the things and be in all the places we've been before. Yet I believe there is a string that ties us to everybody we have loved. Everybody we've hated too, but I don't hate anybody, but I have loved people. I love everybody. I love God in them. And those who respond to that love, I believe there is a tie between us. And I believe that you have been brought here, many of you, because you've been with me before. And I think that perhaps in the other world we created a community together and are trying to recreate in this world what we knew then. Master said that when people create beautiful things in this world, whether it be in painting or music or anything, it's because of their astral memories, their desire to create a perfection they've already known, but lost because they weren't yet perfect themselves, and so they had to go through this. But that world is a little bit of a taste of what we can know eventually and be one with for eternity. But we are together because we've done this together, and this is why I've had the good fortune and the good karma to be able to draw so many people, because we've done it before. It's a fascinating thought. If I have to come back, it will only be with this purpose of helping. There's nothing that draws me here otherwise. People think, well, don't you feel happy that you've done this and done that and done the other thing? I'm glad that I did it for God. I'm glad that people have been helped by it. But other than that, I don't think of anything as mine. I've mentioned to some of you the experience I had many years ago. I was walking up into Upper Ayodhya and I saw the lights on in these trailers. We didn't have buildings at that time yet, except I had a little dome down below. And the thought came to my mind, I did this. Then I thought, well, do I like that thought? I decided, well, not very much. It's pleasant, but it's very limiting. I did this, that means I didn't do anything else. I did this? Bunch of stupid trailers? No. I'm kidding. That's not what I was thinking. But but I did feel, I don't like the thought, I did it. For my own happiness, I'm much happier thinking God did it. And that's the last time that thought has ever come to me. And who is me? If there's a little chink through which the divine light can pour, then wonderful, I'm grateful for it. But nothing else matters. Let us all try to serve him in such a way that we can be his instruments of his love and his light and joy.
Hello again, friends. It's a very special time. This time we've been honoring Swami Kriyanandaji's Moksha Day, and I thought it would be appropriate to talk with you today about how to attune more to Swamiji. I was looking at something online. It was a painting, a beautiful painting, the most beautiful in the world, I believe, of the Mona Lisa by Da Vinci. And that smile that the Mona Lisa has, it's a curious smile. Something's going on there. No one can quite figure out why. But that smile that the devotee has, the smile of love in your heart, of joy in your heart, of the gifts that Master has given us, of everything that we have to be able to be progressing so quickly on the path, really, and the gift of Swamiji, the life he's given us, and all that the writings and his lectures and the music and our guru buys and places to go and retreats and centers and all. That's the smile of the devotee, of the disciple of Master, because it's a smile of Master's love in our hearts. And our relationship, as Master Swamiji said about Master, it was mainly inside. And I know some of you, probably many of you, have never met Swamiji, but I love what Swamiji's answer was to someone in India who said to him, well, why didn't we ever meet Master? And Swamiji's response, his quick response was, how do you know you didn't? And I say the same about Swamiji. How do you know you didn't? You heard him say, we've all been together before, we've done this before, and it certainly feels like that. And so when Swamiji was with Master, he said it was very inside, very inward. You remember when they were out at the desert and retreat, and Swamiji, it was the first time he was with his guru alone, and he wanted to make conversation, and he thought maybe Master wanted to talk. I'm not sure, but he said, well, what does the Om sound like? That was Master's response. And he said, well, what is the position? And maybe some of you don't have the Om technique, so I can't show, but he put his fingers in the right position. He never said a word. And Swamiji understood that Master wanted him to feel his presence inside. And Master told Swamiji and the others, I know every thought you think. And to those who think me near, I am near. And also once Swamiji was meditating with Master, he was meditating in a meeting that Master was having about potholes, filling potholes. And there were some other ones of the monks who were doing that assignment. Swamiji wasn't involved. He sat in the back of the room and he was just listening, and he closed his eyes. And it wasn't a spiritual satsang. It wasn't blessing people directly. But Swamiji said as he was talking about the potholes and what to do, that Swamiji's consciousness was so uplifted to the spiritual eye that he felt he could just go out through the spiritual eye. But this tells you that it was the inner attunement with the Guru, not what he did outwardly, his personality. It wasn't personal. I think people need to learn that I saw with Swamiji the same. It was very inward with him. You always knew you were in the presence of a great soul and that he was channeling to you, Master and Divine Mother. It wasn't personal. It wasn't a personality. He never tried to, what can I say, expand your ego. He was very centered, very deep. I may have had, if I add up all the time that Swamiji spent with me personally to answer personal questions I had about my life and spiritual progress, in all those years, decades, I would say, at least 4 decades, I would say maybe 15 minutes he spent with me, if you add it all up. It just wasn't his way. He would just continually give you more and more things to do. And I remember I would go to him and say, well, Swamiji, I need advice on this. He would give me something to do. And I said, well, I wanted advice. He would give me something more to do. And he would give me something more to do. And because he knew if I could lift up my energy and my consciousness, I would be fine. And so the relationship with him is an inward one. This is what people need to understand. And I asked Swamiji at a satsang, where many of us were there in Gurgaon, will you be able to help us once you leave your body as much as you're helping us now? And he said very quietly, he said, I really hope so. And I thought, it wasn't yes, it wasn't no. What does that mean? And I meditated on that and I realized he was saying, yes, of course, I'll be there. Will you be there? Will you be in tune enough to hear my guidance, to still receive the teachings through the ether? I mean, he's still teaching us. He's still with us. He's still guiding us. But you have to be open and receptive, have faith, and know that he's a channel for Master And Master has given us Swamiji. It's not like I choose this person or this direct disciple or that direct disciple. No, it's a gift from the Guru. And as we open ourselves to Swamiji, if you knew him, if you didn't, here are some ways that could help you. I want to go through 2 or 3 methods of things that you can do. One is with Swamiji, you can pray to him, ask him, even ask Master to help Swamiji to help you. But Swamiji never told us when we go for prayers to him or whatever, he never said, no, go ask Master. Go back and talk to Master. He would help you. He wasn't putting it on Master because he's a channel for our Guru. And so you can pray to Swamiji, ask him to help you with your meditations or with your work or with your relationships or whatever it is. And I was remembering several stories where people got a lot of help from Swamiji, from praying to him. I remember one person, Swamiji said, that person had cancer, and then they got healed. And he said they were healed because they were open and receptive. Very interesting. He could help them because they were open and receptive. And I remember once I went to Swamiji and I was going through a hard time, and I definitely got helped. I mean, in one day I was much, much, much better. And I went to Swamiji. I thanked him for helping me. And he looked at me and he said, Dhyana, Master's helping you. And I was taken aback. But he was saying, the Guru is helping you through me. And it was very clear then. And I remember a person who, it was one of my friends here. She was having some health problems, and she had just had a surgery. And surgery was difficult, and there was a lot of pain afterwards. So she wasn't getting any better. And then she kept praying to Swamiji for help. And she wasn't living where he was. And then one day someone was calling, and then they called and said, Swamiji wants to talk with you, because he could hear, he heard that she wasn't getting better. And he got on the phone and he just said, her name was Ramani. He says, Ramani, you are well. And she got well. So, I mean, the power of God was coming through and is still coming through Swamiji. And we can't say, well, he's left his body now, it's all over. Now we just go to Master and Babaji and we forget about Swamiji. Look at all that's happened since Swamiji's passing. Look at, in India, look, it's just booming everywhere, every center, and online and home study and Brindaban and EFL, Education for Life, and everything's just blasting. Swamiji planted those seeds, and he's working through the people who he placed in positions to carry on the work. All of you who are in charge of all the various departments. So the first thing is praying, asking Swamiji's help. Another is to listen to Swamiji's music, like this beautiful piece. He said, if you want to get to know me, listen to my music. Very clear. I listen to it every day. I love it. I sing it, play it, listen to it, do whatever you can, but get that music out and get the music app. You can see on the screen here, get the music app, and then you'll be able to, at your fingertips, have all the music. But it's uplifting for your consciousness, and it uplifts you to a point where you can feel Swamiji's presence. You can feel the Guru's presence. You feel yourself uplifted. And I know some people, they listen to all kinds of music. It's not right. We have music on our path. We have almost 400 pieces. And just think if we didn't have that music, whoa, I mean, that music is helping us to grow spiritually. And so listen to Swamiji's music and try to listen to some every day. Chant, get a harmonium and chant the chants if you can. I've shown you a small tanpur, I have that, or whatever, but sing if you can and listen. If you can't sing, put the music on. But you'll feel, oh, what Swamiji said, this music is attuned to the Om vibration. And he's in Om. I mean, all the masters are in Om. The question is, where are you? And so that music brings you right in harmony with Swamiji. And the next is the books. Well, first, before the books, I talk about the talks. There are hundreds of talks. And for Kriya Bonds, there's so many talks. I mean, how many people listen to the talks? Here again, I listen to the talks every day. Why? He's my teacher. I'm still listening to him, and there's hundreds of talks. If you never listen to the talks, you think you're going to get there on your own, good luck. But if you, even 5 minutes of a talk or 15 minutes, or go on YouTube, there's so many talks, or you can get them from Treasures Along the Path. But just tune in through the talks as well. And also through the books. My goodness, there's so many books. Really, and people say, oh, I read this, I read that. You can see them on the screen now. But I say, well, have you read all those books in there in the boutique yet? Most people haven't. Make it a life's project to read the books. And you see all the wonderful, wonderful books that are there. I just want to name off a few of them for you, because I was there for many of them that Swamiji was writing them. And here are some of them. The New Path, Education for Life, Art and Signs of Raja Yoga, Essence of the Bhagavad Gita, Cities of Light, The Hindu Way of Awakening, a biography, Paramahansa Yogananda, Supportive Leadership, Secrets of Meditation, Essence of Self-Realization, goes on and on and on. Anything you might be interested in, Swamiji has written something about it. And finally, see the example that this great disciple of Master left for us. Look at how he lived his life. Look at the qualities, the attitudes, when the kindness, joyfulness, energy, magnetism, hope. I mean, he was all positivity. He was always positive, joyful, and he was such a good disciple. He said, it doesn't matter what I've done, what I haven't done. I just want to be a good disciple. He didn't even say great disciple. He said, I just want to be a good disciple. And he left the example of a good disciple. And I remember when Swamiji passed away in Italy, in India, I went to all the places that he had gone to often. In the mall, the place where he got his glasses fixed. I went and I talked to everybody who knew him. I went to the restaurant. He liked to go to Tonino's. I had everybody on the whole staff, the chefs. I talked to everybody about Swamiji and that he passed away, and people were in tears. I went to the home store where he would buy his furniture, and I talked with them, and everybody said, he was such a great person. He so much cared about me. He was so loving. He took out the time to come and talk with us, even if he wasn't buying anything. Just think of these examples. If you live like that, look at the example of Swamiji, live like that, you feel his smile in your heart. That's how it comes to me. I feel, oh, he's happy about that. As I said last week, I saw some people who seemed very uncomfortable at the tulips, and springtime at Ananda, they were out at the pool area. And I was in the kitchen, I saw them, and I thought, now what would Swamiji do? He'd go out there and say hello. And I just went out, hello, how are you? Are you enjoying yourself? And I just felt he was so happy, like, good job, So think of what he would do. What would Swamiji do? How would he talk to people? How would he be positive? Would he be down and out? Would he be negative? Would he be uplifted? What would he do? And if you do those things, you feel you know him. You know him, even if you've never met him. You know him. All of these things will help. And finally, I'd like to read you something from Swamiji himself. He says this from a paper, no, not a paper, a satsang he gave, his own words on how we should relate to him. We must try, you see, but our self-effort must be directed primarily toward deepening our attunement with the Guru, not as a person, but as a channel for the infinite Lord. So then, what of my position in all this, and where does it concern you? Clearly, I'm not the Guru in the same sense that Master is. For one reason, he's a master and I'm simply not. But I'm certainly an active link to him for those of you who live and work here at Ananda and who try to follow the things I teach you in his name. This is simply the way it is, the way it has always been. I have seen that those people who thought to attune themselves to Master on their own without accepting the channel of grace as it flows through those who already have such attunement with him never receive as much. Master himself, while living, urged the newer disciples to look to his close disciples and not to him alone for guidance and inspiration. Do not imagine, he would say, that you can please the Guru while ignoring his disciples. I recall also how Master told Vance Milligan, a young disciple, you should mix more with Walter. You don't know what you have in him. Finally, so you see my highest duty and my constant desire as your soul friend is to take you beyond mere human friendship to a deeper awareness of the eternal friend who resides in our souls. You will benefit from our relationship according to the level that you tap. I am your friend, but if you define our friendship in terms already familiar to you, you will remain always at that level of familiarity and will gain little more from it. See our friendship, therefore, as progressing ever upward toward the impersonal love of God, which alone is reality. Remember, whatever I can give to you comes to you through me by Master's grace. Om Shanti. Shanti. I'll ask Natindra to come on screen now. We have a couple of questions and we won't stay much longer.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The first question we have is, what was the most important legacy of Swamiji?
I would say the people. The people, look at all the leaders he trained. Look at all the people who love God that had contact with Swamiji. I would say, regardless of all the things he did, the people who his life touched, and some people he never met, through his books, through the music, through a talk or whatever, the people who had a contact, and I mean an inner contact, with Swamiji, that's his legacy. And it's growing and growing and growing.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Two more questions. The first one is, was Swamiji guided by Master in all that he had accomplished?
He said that he was. I mean, there are degrees of guidance, but he said he was. I knew Swamiji when, he had started Ananda in the late 60s. I came in the late 70s, so I can speak about that. But I remember talking about India, that when he would write there, he would say, Master's writing this through me. And much of the music, and all the music, he said, it's not mine. So I think it was Divine Mother through the Guru giving Swamiji all that he could give to the world. And his talks, he would often say, in my hearing, I felt Master's blessing, or I felt Master speaking through me. So I believe he ever tried to attune himself to Master completely, but I can't say more than that. I surely felt in his presence that Master was talking. Master was If it was a class, or if it was to me, or if it was to a group of us, you never felt it was a personality there that was Swamiji talking. You felt he was a channel for Master. And all you have to do is read the books. Do you get a personality there, or do you get truth? And you get Master's vibrations. He put his vibrations, Master said in autobiography, and I believe Swamiji held to that vibration and put Master's vibrations in his book so people would take them and read them. So, yes, I would say so.
Thank you so much, Dhyanaji. One last question. Would you give some examples of how were people trained by Swamiji? And is he still training people? Can he train me?
Yeah, it is subtle. He didn't sit you down and tell you, you need to do this. I mean, you really wanted that, but that never happened. He would, he didn't go against your will. That was the thing. You had to be willing. So he would hint at things, and if you would get the hint and say, oh, yes, I'd like to do that, then you'd say, okay. But, I have many stories on that, but I don't have time to tell them. But he wasn't strongly suggesting what you should do with your life. It was your life. He was there as a friend and guide, as we say. The more open you were, the more he could help you. That's what I saw. And I remember one woman who turned negative. This was shocking to me. And we worked in the same office here at the Sangha office in the village. And then she got negative and walked off. And I heard Swamiji say about her once. He said, she will never find God except through this channel. And I thought, wow, it's so subtle. It's so subtle. And she never came back. But there are channels. This is how it is. It's ordained by God. It's not, I'm picking and choosing. So he trained you in, I went to him and said, I want to be trained. And even so, he didn't say, I want you to do this, you must do this, you must do that. He would ask you. He would suggest, and then he would see how open you were. And I remember at a certain point in my life when I really, really asked Swamiji to help me, and I had gone off in a bad way. Not a bad way, but it was off. It was out of tune. And I really asked Swamiji. And after that, he started telling me what to do. I was so happy. He said, you're not going to do that anymore. Now you're going to do that. I said, thank you. But I was like wide open by then. Before I was like, all right, I really want to do what I want to do. So it depends on the person. Will he help you now? I'd say, if you're open, if you do the things I've mentioned and more, I think I still feel him. It's hard to say this, but even more so a lot of times when the ideas are just coming, do this, call this person, go over there. And I just know, where's that idea coming from? That's not my idea. Where's that thought coming from? And you feel that the Swamiji is just planting those seed thoughts in people's minds who are open to them. So yes, it was a subtle training and it's still going on. If you meditate deeply, get in tune, you'll hear him. And it's not like a booming voice. It's very subtle. It's just like this thought comes and you go, oh, okay, I'm supposed to do that. So try it. I think you will, surely, if you want to, Swamiji is right there guiding. Whoever's open and whoever really wants that guidance, it's still there. Thank you all. God bless you. Thank you, Natindra.